I promise you one thing, little Jimmy. We're going to the fire. We're going to some kind of fire. You know what I'm saying? Whatever kind of fire it is, we're going to figure it out, okay? Okay, Jimmy? We're going to figure out to go into a magical world. Right? Right. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to go into a magical world. First of all, we'll go to the cave. Okay, let's start in little stepstones, okay? And little stepstones we'll do the 1, 2, 3 that's in the middle. And up above of it, it's going to be legs, okay? It's going to be like some kind of ray legs thing, right? Okay? What I like is down below is this old geezer kind of creepy looking little face with closed eyes, right? That's the thing I like. I like that thing because it's just so creepy. Reminds me a lot of Mario 64 stuff. So we're going to start with that. We're going to start out, we're going to let the fire burn, okay? Sad eyes, man. I already know that sad eyes is going to be a thing. So just go to Wanderer's right shirt. That's the whole thing about talking about sad eyes. We're going to have some kind of sad eyes thing. And it just so happens that the left eye wants to do some Kayayaku, Ray, leg stuff. Okay, right? Yes, we know Wanderer likes to make his hand look like some kind of snake. Right? Okay, so we know about that, right? But look at the human. See what I'm saying? We are going to see some really creepy things. We're just going to see creepy things. We are looking at, that's exactly what a Mario 64 human, and SOTC has humans also. So that is what we're going to look at, and we're going to really try. See, we really want to look for boobs, because look at this. That's a human head. We know that's a human head, but to look at that as a pair of boobs is pretty haunted. That's like a little bit of a haunted thing. We are looking for boobs, okay? There are certain things to boobs. There's fake boobs. There's all kinds of creepy things about boobs, right? But what I like is that this human you can see it clearly looks like a human under his armpit, like it's like a white side order human. Of course, it looks like a hover kind of thing, but I like that majority of it, has a lot of Shadow of Colossus ideas. What I like is the majority idea of it, okay? That's what I like about it, is that it's a Mario 64, okay? So a lot of majority ideas behind it give me kind of that, like, okay, all right, Mario 64. It gives me that kind of things, Just that. I'm like, all right, that's cool. That's a little different. I wonder what the whole idea is behind Famitto thinking about humans. Now, below it is a try. It's a very scary try. It's about the elongated tries. And, that's our whole reason for an Elden Ring room. This Elden Ring room is pretty awesome. It's a pretty awesome room. So we do have a 4. But I like to show you the 3, which is to the left. I want to show you the 3, okay? I like to show scary things. I like to do it due to I don't like not making good content, I like making good content, okay? I knew something about this, okay? So here we go. Far and wide, da-da-da-da-da. Guess what? We're going to have a pair of legs that looks like a butt, and it's naked. Looks like it's not, you know what I'm saying? It looks like it's silver. Looks like a silver legs, okay? So we're going to have that. We're going to have a butt crack, basically, on this thing. You're going to have to turn the camera over. I always use the BP method, but once you turn it over, it's going to be pretty clear to see this thing, okay? So it's not going to be too difficult to see this thing. Just look at the cape, too, because the cape is going to look like a pair of legs also. But then look to the side of it. You're going to see, gosh dang it, whatever Bomberman, right? And then you're going to go over to where the Bomberman is. Now, this is the whole thing. The whole thing to me, guys, has been this. This is a half-half, and it's a very scary half-half, okay? One half is Ray, right? Pyra, Ray stuff, right? The other half is what I would like to look for Demi for Mario 64 stuff, right? So there was a whole entire idea when I say my words out of my mouth. They're very scary words. There are certain scary words I'm choosing to say and talk about. Now, you still got an elongated face, which is actually a really good elongated face to be next to a naked butt. So, I mean, like what, Ray stepping on a yeller, right? And yes, the yeller looks like a pair of legs also, right? So, I mean, we always have to, try and think about something with the yellers, right? Okay. Vengeance. Vengeance has always been creepy. It's just going to be creepy. It's going to continue to be creepy. The real idea behind Vengeance will be crazy. I know it will. It'll be just really crazy. And yes, it's a 1, 2, 3. We're gonna, we switched the camera around for these angles, right? So, there's a pair of boobs thing up there too. We could. There's a little bit of elongated face on that one, but we'll get into that one later because what we want to talk about is we want to talk about Uni's legs, right? But I don't understand. I'm not quite understanding. Okay, so I understand Ray. I understand the sword holder always like to do Ray things. But I'm not understanding Uni doing the whole midget dead legs thing, Not really getting it from the cartoon. But guess what? Now I'm going to really creep you out. I'm actually going to creep you out. You ready? You see a lot of 1, 2s. You see 1, 2 legs. Look up above. There's our 77. Okay? So yes, 77, crazy game. Fantasia has been really crazy. I know a lot of things that Fantasia is doing. To break down Fantasia is going to be pretty crazy, but I do see some things that Fantasia is doing, and I really like what I see from Fantasia. So, there's a lot of things that are coming from Fantasia. Now, the Pokemon ZA Cup thing is going to be pretty good. I mean, I'm always looking at big man stuff, right? I guess when looking at the boobs, you're going to look at a boobs being a belly button, right? And you're going to go up. And this is my whole thing of trying to find hover. I'm glad that it looks like a Mario 64 thing though, because just you could look at the belly button, you could get confused. There'd be a try up there. So you could get confused by it. But then gosh, for some reason they have a separation of a face that needs to smile, and they have a 1, 2, and that's pretty cool looking. It's just a cool thing to look at. Right? So that's a pretty cool, creepy thing to look at, right? Big belly, big, a lot of belly drum, all kinds of stuff, right? Now, that face, that 1, 2, 3 tiny face up above, crazy, very crazy to me. Crazy that the tiny faces would even want to try. Shadow of Colossus's tiny faces would even want to try. You see what I'm saying? Try and look like some Mario 64 faces. Very scary. Very scary. Because what I remember from the tiny faces of Shadow of Colossus is I remember kind of some different ideas behind it. So that's what I remember out of it. But, right? Duality kind of stuff. Yep, all that kind of stuff. Fusions, all kind of things. But now I zoomed through that pretty quick. Ha ha ha. Went through that pretty fast, okay? I went through that, but this bird, okay? So this bird just wants to blatantly be a tri-mouth, be a pair of legs. This whole bird thing, the cape just having a whole gray pair of legs thing. But I look at it as another screamer, another big mouth, okay, big mouth with some legs in it and a big mouth going around. And that's kind of the energy I love about Mario 64. Now this cape, you have to turn it over, but that's the energy I like. And of course, we're still going to get a leg for, to get kicked in the face. We're also going to talk about how the leg, I don't even know what to say about this part, you know what I'm saying? But this is a typical leg of, of intimacy. So there is the idea of what kind of leg it's trying to be, right? But to have a leg shaping into making a mouth and then having an eye next to it, and then you're having another kind of 1, 2 up there, standing, And yes, it does kind of look like melons, but that's the confusing thing about it too. And I really like its energy from Mario 64. I love the energy that is just by it. And yes, you have a thing that looks like an Ishtar for the mouth. Okay. So it's a pretty crazy looking thing. Okay. Pretty scary. And yeah, it's a really scary one. So I mean, these things. You know what? You know what though? Okay. You know what? 1, 2, 3. Holy crap, man! With this 1, 2, 3, this one's a hard one to see. We're gonna go back down to the other leg. Thank gosh we can just go to the shorts and climb up the shorts. And as soon as we climb up the shorts, we'll flip it upside down. This Sonic Superstars melons. Okay, so this whole entire idea of melons, it's a pretty crazy thing to research into. There's a whole reason to research into it. And most likely, and yes, there are some ideas that when you're looking at this BP Crash Bandicoot, there's some crazy ideas that are going on. But I like to pay attention to the 1, 2, 3 bed. Because, Zelda Echoes of Wisdom and the bed. So I like to, have like, how a butt, lays on a bed, belly lays on the bed, all kinds of stuff. That's the kind of thing I'm like looking into right now for this one. I mean, but what you should expect is we have a 77 in this, so you should really expect it's going to get pretty crazy, right? Look below. That's a try. So they want you to climb up this little row thing. It's going to have a foot and a leg. It's going to have another kind of 77 thing going on, but they want to make this so you climb all the way up. And then you see this all the way down. It looks like a mouth, and then you look like 2 eyes up above. But if you look at it closely, you see 2 little dots for the eyes. This is our whole but why thing, and it's very scary. Anything that is but why is going to normally be like when they do it right, it's going to be scary like this. This is where I get this whole idea to talk about the hiders, the runners, you pussy, that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing like I'm talking about. Like, no, okay, here you are. So it was kind of creepy when we went all the way back up to the tooth idea, Ishtar tooth idea, right? Yes, sad face still makes a try. Of course it does. Of course it makes an elongated try, whatever. On the shirt, sleeve, right? Another shirt sleeve thing. Okay, whatever. But, do you see what I'm saying? Sometimes we have to, go through certain patterns and certain ideas to look through, certain things that we want to look at, right? But you know what? I mean, getting into a human, right? Okay, so let's get into a human, right? And we know about a game that did come out. Okay, so we know about, that's why I mentioned the human. So we do know a video game that came out, and it's a video game you can play, and it's a video game I was really intrigued about. I was really intrigued about this video game, and I told you the scary things I was seeing from this video game, right? Now, console N, pair of legs, right? Okay. V for vengeance, right? So, they don't have to pair, when they pair together, they don't have to be in the same spot, right? Nama and her friends, they don't have to be in the same spot, okay? They don't have to be at the same area or same spot. One goes upside down, the other one goes up, yin yang, right? So there's a whole entire thing. So sometimes it's like, okay, let's talk about yin yang. Let's talk about Console M DLC. Let's talk about Console M DLC. And then you realize that this picture is too scary. See what I'm saying? So now that we've looked at the shorts and we look at the tiny thing, that was a pretty crazy thing. So my whole thing about the tries is, if you were in 2024 and you were wondering what game you want to purchase, you're going to purchase Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. You will purchase it. That's kind of one of those games you will just purchase. So, see, and I like the side order one though, because I'm into how indifferent side order is. It's like a very indifferent kind of game, and I really like that indifference. I just like that it's like trying to feel like a Splatoon game, but it's a little bit, indifferent. So I like the mystery behind that. Okay. This 1, 2, 3 is on the cape, and you have to turn it over. But this one it's looking like a Z. Okay, so Zelda bed, right? 1, 2, 3. It's back to the 1, 2, 3 I was pointing out to you to begin with. Right? So there's that. This is like a belly face. I have no idea what the heck this thing is trying to be, but I do feel its energy. You know what I'm saying? I feel the amount of pressure it has. Anytime I see a human too, it's just like so crazy. There's our 1, 2, 3, okay? Pair of legs. Ray. Legs are amazing. So of course they're gonna do a face. Of course you're gonna have this leg's mouth. And it's probably one of the creepiest hints in Shadow of Colossus to Mario 64 due to, like, let's say for some reason I was not here and you were trying to figure out something. Well, a pair of legs, right, that you would cut in half. You'd still have, you'd have the legs off, right? You go in the desert, right? But once you cut those legs off, you'd be able to get the mouth, and then you'd be able to look at the eyes, right? So it's a really crazy idea that they have for this. Now, if you look at one of the eyes kind of gives you an idea of poking. It gives you a devil poke out, gives you an idea of boobs, gives you all kinds of ideas, right? So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Likes to do some crazy positions when the monsters are summoned too, by the way. So when the actual monsters in Yu-Gi-Oh! When they are summoned, they like to do certain positions, right? And do you want time for BP brace? Of course you do. Of course you want to know his brace by his sword holder, why it has a bunch of the BPs on one side of the leg, and on the other side of the leg we're having like kind of like a try thing. We're still having the two sides to make the try, but if you notice, you see a bunch of BP things going on, right? Okay. Batman, right? What's the one thing you know about Batman? It's when you separate it, right? 3-3, right? So we're always going to get into kind of like a 3-3 kind of thing, right? I love the scary stuff, people. I love the scary stuff because it makes a lot of things that you're really trying to think about just a little bit easier, Trying to think into posters of Batman, trying to think about what's going on, right? Just little things that can happen, okay? Bam, right? Hammer, bam. Kind of things that you can think about. There's a lot of creepy things that you can think about, right? Bam, in a live action Batman series, right? When Batman's a cartoon, but it's also turned into a live action series, right? So you know about that idea, right? Okay. Now, I mean, it's a good butt. I understood the whole idea, the meaning behind the butthole for Shin Megami Tensei when they were presenting the trailers, and I really like it because the reason they did that is they wanted an easy way to get to Uni's feet, because Uni's certain feet, and they wanted to just talk about the common thing about how vagina can look, how penis can look, and how they designed X, because X has a crazy vulva idea, right? So they have a lot of crazy ideas that go on, right? But here's the thing, too. So we went through a lot of that, right? We're going to still have to keep looking for short. We're still going to be looking for the short girl ideas. We still have to look for that, for the butt wise of that. We're looking for the shorts. See Uni with a butt Y. So Uni's foot doing a butt Y. We're going to have to start looking for stuff like that because it is very scary of a little female. But we still have Uni. We have this whole Uni thing. Okay? Uni is just like, make a human that's very relatable to people. have the human talk to people because it's a very relatable character in a video game, and just have it like a very fun and related character. But then the really scary part is when you start to figure out that Uni has a different kind of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Has like a certain behavior that's very scary. The whole stub arm thing, side stub arm, is even here on the cape. So that's pretty creepy. I really like that side arm thing of being a stub. It's a pretty scary thing that they have going on there. You know, it's going to be like kind of boobs also, you know. But that's the thing. They're playing some tricks on your mind, you know what I'm saying? It's like, do you want to look at it as a pair of boobs, right? Or do you want to look at it as a stub arm, like an actual arm that's a stub? Okay, so that's the whole idea behind how scary they get in video games, right? They get really scary in video games, especially with the human. The whole human idea, what the heck, I know, right? What the heck with this human thing, right? Now, you can even look at this and you can start to think about Golduck, right? If you really want to get creative, you could think about Golduck and Psyduck, right? You can think about that stuff. Even through all of this, it's really cool that Ray has kind of this little easy thing that it's doing. It's looking like fire. This is a Ray thing, and I really like the Ray thing. The Ray thing is pretty cool. Yes, it looks like sigil-like, but it also looks like, you know, just a whole thing of connection. And what I mean by connection is it looks like, it could look like Ray, of course, right? But it also is telling you how a human can be connected to something, like their arms can be connected to the veins of something. So how something crazy like that can actually happen, okay? So that thing is on the cape right by the legs. Now, if you notice, it's shaped like the Mario and Luigi character of the new Mario and Luigi game. So there you go with that. And yeah, I know our YouTube videos are kind of boring. Yeah, I understand, man. I do understand. I don't know why our YouTube videos are so boring. I don't know why. Of course, money. You know, that's all YouTube is. It's just like a money kind of platform. It's just kind of boring. Can't say YouTubers' names, but you know which ones I'm talking about. It's like whatever. Yep, whatever. The whole teeth thing is pretty crazy. I really like that. That is one of the coolest collectibles I've ever seen. It's a pretty cool little collectible. It's a pretty nice collectible to have, you know, pretty cool decoration stuff. That 1, 2, 3 is for 77 is pretty cool too. I mean, we're just gonna have a lot of pop goes the head kind of things going on. And I guess it's just due to the idea they want to show you how sharp that shoe is. They want you to think about Sonic the Hedgehog also, you know. So they want you to think about those things. I mean, what? He smashes his head into a TV, creepy stuff, you know, takes his head and smashes it right into it. The whole side stuff, you can still see some more side stuff. We're really trying to find hover because of Sonic the Hedgehog, you know what I'm saying? We're really trying to find hover, but it's kind of crazy to know that somewhere like a butthole trying to make, you know, right? Floppy boobs, check. Trying to make a pair of feet, uni feet, okay? And you have a lot of classic cartoons, you know what I'm saying? You have Nerds, the candy, right? The actual candy. So you have 2 examples of this crazy, creepy stuff. And it's really awesome. And, you know, that's why there's the typical Nerds rope. And, you know, there's the Nerds, the typical flavor that, you know, I would talk about, purple and, you know, pink, pinky, stinky. Okay, right. All right. Anyway, the V for vengeance. That's just so cool that can make that easy. So the Y in V, just trying to make things easy to point you into how humans would be like, how there's a way to pay attention to. And then I guess the human life hole, if you really want to get really disturbing, just some disturbing things of the human life hole, because the human life hole is pretty crazy. Like, how like a female, or even not a female, just showing how the existence of life is being squeezed out of a hole, right? Because, some people tell them to squeeze the stuff out of the hole, which is another concerning thing, very concerning thing. You know what I'm saying? That's a very concerning thing. The 1, 2, 3 that they have going on, oh my gosh, that is really cool. See what I'm saying? That's why when I was looking at Splatoon, and Splatoon used its format of art form, and it wanted to show something scary. That's why I was pointing to it. So on the top of the cape, you don't even have to turn the camera, but on the top of the cape, you will see this whole 1, 2, 3 thing. I also do think about Ren and Stimpy's Toast. Ren and Stimpy's a pretty crazy show, though. Ren and Stimpy's a very crazy show. But like the Toast Hero. And, you got Little Toaster, I think, also the movie Little Toaster, that Little Toaster movie. And there's a Little Demi Kids kind of thing. I guess Demi Kids is to be another try, whatever. whatever whole grains, right? Now, do you know of certain celebrities? See, this is where it also gets scary. Yes, you do. You know celebrities that will tell you their diet ideas and what they love to have for breakfast. And they love to have what? A toast. Just a piece of toast, right? Because it is a toast. It's basically a toast to how, stuff goes. It's a toast. BP, that's a crazy, like, confusing one right there, but I do like it. I do like BP's eye just being a ray. That one is still going to lead you to another, like, black sharp leg, and that's going to lead you into being the eye in the mouth. So it's going to lead you into Mario 64. So Shadow of Colossus loves its whole entire Mario 64 things, and that is due to Uni's feet, because Uni's feet needs to have Ray next to it to show you what Uni is. So this is a pretty good representation, right, of trying to think about not only shoes, but like thinking about Uni. When I think about Mario 64 stuff, I like to think about how close I can get to something, right? And I also like to consider Shadow of the Colossus, and the reason I consider Shadow of the Colossus, okay, there is a little insect thing going on here too. I mean, Yooka-Laylee, we know we have insects. We know Banjo-Kazooie, we have insects. But we do know that this little face is making a 1, 2. You don't even have to count to 3. I just count to like the thing that would look like a mouth, like a big belly mouth. And then I look at the eye, and that's all I look at. I'll just look at that. And if you want to look at the other way, you can look at it as a pair of legs. You can do that. But I like to look at the face because I know about Mario 64, so that's kind of the idea why I'm telling you to look at it like that way. And you have to change the legs. You don't have to change the legs too much of the picture, but if you look to the side, you'll end up seeing it. It's going to be, on the leg that's not being rose up. It's going to be down. Yes, we were talking about Triple H stuff a couple of days. Wander, he jumps like Triple H. Where the heck is this? Yeah, we have a professional wrestler just, jumping like a video game character. Wrestling video games are very crazy, by the way, too. I really like wrestling games, but you have to find the right wrestling games to play. And, there's the one where you go commonly into the parking lot, which is a pretty crazy story. There's a lot of crazy stories of parking lots. Somebody that wanted to set their car on fire. There's all kinds of crazy stories in our world. Wow, after all that, I'd have no idea. That's really cool. I actually do like that, as small as that is. So it's back to the BP thing. But if you decide to turn it up, what do you know? A good old Uni kind of thing. And that's also another thing I like about Unis, these creature Unis, that they don't have to just have holes. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to have holes. Some of them don't even have like holes. So my whole thing is like, wow, there's a bunch of trees with hanging fruit. Hey, people, bunch of trees with hanging fruit, kind of crazy. And then you have the whole sequence that happens in Banjo-Kazooie, and you have to get to the llama, and that whole entire thing. Yeah. So there's that. But yeah, the actual information, it's like, if you want to know what I'm trying to talk about with this one is just like, you're going to go back to this mouth-looking insect, whatever thing, right? See, the bed thing is good. That's the way they want you to see it, though. They want you to see the whole entire bed thing. Zelda is really dressed up nasty. She is. She's dressed up very nasty in Echoes of Wisdom. But if you decide to look at the bed angle, which is you're going to have to flip the camera so that the creature is lying down, is if you choose to do this, because that's the right way to look at it through Mario 64 stuff, right? But if you do finally choose to do this, and you choose, that's kind of an easier way, because the mouth on this leg, right? Not the high knee, the low leg, right? Lowly dirt, okay? Is going to be down below, okay? And I can't even start with that. There is another thing that's just as creepy. There's a lot of them. There really is a 1, 2, 3 sequence, but you gotta kind of expect for a 1, 2, 3 sequence, with Uni, because Uni has certain leg armor. But that's the whole point behind it. Okay, so they do one to the left, right? Okay. And that's going to just be showing off Ray legs and all kinds of crazy stuff. Stars, because we got a bunch of Shin Megami Tensei star stuff and all that. Okay. And then the other one is going to be shown. Gosh, there's the one of the excitement. Rayman's so cool to see every once in a while, right? Rayman, pretty scary. But we got to see Rayman eventually, because of Ray. That's a little hint that they want to do, right? Okay. But what I'm showing you is the crazy ideas they have. I already showed you the one down below. That was the one I wanted to show you. They like showing this whole Rayman, but that's what I really think of Rayman. Showing it kind of like this whole tall thing. Yeah, I know we have some silly folk tales that come out and stuff, right? And made up stories, but what's also crazy? We do end up having a way to get into skinny legs, which I like to get into rather than the other new folk tales that are made, right? Like Slender Man, right? So I like to look at skinny legs, big man, and BP, right? So how about BP, right? Next to a big man kind of thing, right? Or skinny legs, depends on how we're really going to go about with this one. But the good news is below we have a little Mario 64 thing below to kind of stop us from confusion, right? Just a little bit of stopping confusion, just about that. But BP is really crazy. Yes, BP still looks like a Mario 64, which I don't understand that at all. Don't really get that. But I do get that it still looks like an insect, okay? So we can get kind of an idea that it looks like an insect or whatever it's trying to do, moving around. Metroid, yeah, we have we can have ideas of Metroid also, because we know the things about Metroid, right? Yeah, it's a pretty good video. This video is pretty decent. It's not too bad of a video. I really like the ideas that are in this. And, the P, I don't know what to think about with the P, but all I think about is like a skinny leg of it, like a skinny leg connecting into a belly or something like that. You got to get kicked somehow, right? So I do like just kind of the idea on the cape for that. When you do exercise enough, there are 2 different kinds of pectorals you can get. Yeah, that is a thing. That is surprisingly a thing. So maybe that's the whole point of Devil, pushing out, right? And now we got the whole 77 thing going on, which is really cool. In 2024, 77, right? And the human is so good for 77 had to be just, there's this blatant 77 in this creepy picture. So that's why you have like this human thing going on, right? And I know that the other human below the countertop, okay, but not countertop, but below his crotch, right on his crotch is about Y, but it's like a human thing. That one's good. I like the movement of that. I do like the Mario 64 thing, but I also like to look at it as Gariam. Remember what Gariam does? Gariam likes to hold his sword in certain ways, right? Because he's quite the character. So he's right next to a Mario 64. And if you notice, this arm's not long enough. It's like being a stub. So it's a pretty creepy picture, right? So that's our butt Y, okay? And that's the whole thing of why I pay attention to boobs. Ha 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 to you. That's why I like paying attention to boobs. I like seeing these crazy ideas that they have with this. Due to, I also want to find this human and find out what the idea is behind the humans, right? So I want to see what the idea is there. Yeah, I mean, you know what? A Game Pass game, holy crap, it's so hilarious how they do that. I know. Like, it's crazy, right? Yeah, but sometimes you just need to research what you're actually playing. That's all you have to do with video games. You have to research what you're actually going out and playing. And it's a much better world when you do that. That's the hard part about this world. So I better pay attention to that. And yes, legs do lay out that. If you really want to look at a vagina right now, a tri-vagina, you can. That's on the cape. So if you really want to look at that, yeah, there are certain legs that do lay out like that. And it's pretty crazy. That's another subject, right? So now that looks like why the tri that's next to that, right? Jesters. Wow, jesters. Yeah, you know what rhymes with gesture. Pretty creepy thing that rhymes with gesture, right? It starts with an M. Haha, console M. All right,